It really does feel like it's been a long time since we met in that pub in London, and it really does go by just in a flash.
Mhm.
But really appreciate everything, the way we've been welcomed into the Carlisle community, both by the locals and by everybody in the London branch and across the nation. So we can't thank you enough, both from us and the whole family. It's been a great transition period with that. As you mentioned, the grounds, yeah, there's quite a lot going on, as everybody has seen on the social media or through some of the interviews. There's definitely going to be some wow moments. I won't break anything too crazy, but we got a sneak peek of the locker room. It looks good. I think the players will be very happy about that. The East Side has just been an absolute hub of activity, basically since the first moment they could. It has been nonstop. Every floor you go to, there's people drilling, knocking walls down, doing everything we can. So there have been some hiccups because construction's construction, and I think most of us have lived through that at one point or another. And you find some issues as you go through it, but we've worked through those, doing everything we can to make sure that the East Side, East End will be as close to ready as possible for the first game, if not maybe the second at most. But we're thinking we can make it. So that's been fantastic. The work has started behind the Warwick Road end as well. To have a fan zone there, it won't be anything like the fan zone on behind the west side, but it'll still be a great place for not having to queue 45 minutes to get a pint at halftime, or there will be full on bathroom facilities that are needed, but a nice little picnic area that people who maybe don't want to be over with the whole the families in that area in the fan zone, well, they'll have their own little area over here by the Warwick Road end. The containers are already set for that, so that will be ready to go. Um, and then
The Neil Center's finished, so I don't know how much you guys are aware of what we kind of did over in the Neil Center, but the Community Sports Trust, or our sports trust, moved into the admin bill, or the admin offices, and we moved the entire academy team over to the Neil Center. So now they're working all together instead of in the east and west stands. It's gorgeous over there. They're making sure that the turf is patched up. They're making sure that the skylights are replaced. It's going to be a great community center, but also a great hub for the academy group. And we're really excited for them to fully utilize it. The team that's already over there is really enjoying it. They're loving it.
Yeah, it'll be great to have the whole academy, team together.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out how to find a place for the actual academy players to not, ruin some of the new buildings and everything like that, because they kick those balls pretty hard. Um, but overall, it's been great. The contractors we've worked with, between Story, McKnight, and a few others, have all been, very, very helpful, wonderful to work with, understanding time constraints that we just have as a football club, and with the nature of a short off season, there's only so much time you have to do things. So it's going very well, doing everything we can to get it closed as soon as possible, hopefully by the start of the season. When we go to the new personnel, I know Billy Barr is not new, but he's official. So that was one. I think he's been a great voice on the field, especially with Paul recovering from his knee surgery right now. Really helps to have an extra, someone out there who can run around. Because unfortunately, Paul is recovering.
Yeah.
So
How is Paul, by the way? Is he? I mean, is he?
Doing good.
as well as can be for the surgery? From what we've been told, they said, yeah, he definitely needed it. I think he knew that. I don't think that was a surprise. And they said he came out of it as well as anyone could hope for. It's a major surgery, so it will take time, but he's itching to get back out there. He's dying to get back out on the grass. He's watching from above, and he's like, I just want to run, and I can imagine that feeling for him there. But so Billy Barr on the main staff there. Glenn Johnson, the new goalkeeping coach. Really interesting story. I'm sure a lot of people have read it, but he has a lot of unique approaches to the way he does things, and we thought he'd be a good voice to have. And so far, it's been a fantastic partnership with him and the keepers, and the goalkeeping union they have over there, and how the keepers are always a little weird. He's gotten on really well from what we've heard with Gabe, Harry, and Jude, and so everything looks to be going good with him. I haven't met him. Neither of us have met him personally yet, just over a call like this. But seems a great character. Has loads of experience across the world. hope he adds a new dynamic and a new way of thinking to just go along with everything that is already working. I know Sophie would be the third major one at physio. She's been absolutely fantastic. Came highly regarded from Newport. We were very happy to get her. Luckily, it worked out well. Not often, everyone says Carlisle's tough from a location perspective. This was one that really worked for us. She wanted to get back up in this area. I know she's Preston based, but it's a better commute for her. And we were ecstatic to get her on board and get that over the line. So I don't think I missed. Am I missing anyone there?
I don't think for the first team, but we have the new social media people
Oh
now.
yeah. I'm sure many of you have seen the social media content has. It's fine. It's just so that's somebody's screen. That's
Oh,
all.
but they're chatting. So sorry, we're not very we don't Zoom a lot for work, so I'm trying to make sure that we have the chat up. So when we're done explaining, we can answer your questions.
Yeah. So back to that. Social media. We've hired two new James Gates, who I think a lot of people have seen, as well as Rob Elder, who came from a nice outfit, not in football but in sports. So those two, adding with Amy, who she really spearheaded the website redesign and the hopeful new app that will be coming out that will just be purely Carlisle United related. She's really helped spearhead that, and having the two additional resources after we lost Andy has just been a major help. And even today, watching the Penrith game and seeing the graphics and some of the stuff, you can just it feels like they have enough hands now. And it was a issue of just having resources spread thin. And now we have we believe the right people that have been doing a great job on the social media. So all that together, the academy side, Stephen Rudd was announced before, the off season, but he's also been fantastic as well. The academy's really been getting along well with him, and obviously moving into their new building has also really helped because they've got brand new desks and everything to work at. Finalized.
Yeah. We're working on a few more admin positions in the background, but they haven't been finalized yet, so I don't think we can show that right now.
And maybe
yeah, and they're going to be obviously everyone who we hire. It's been announced, so as soon as that is good to go, you guys will know about it if you follow the social media and the website and stuff. So
yeah, and was that all of them?
The training facility.
Oh, and the training facilities, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something we'd have liked to have moved a little quicker. But we do have the initial 5-year lease agreed with the city council. Got that through. They were gracious in working through it, but it did take a little bit longer. Totally understand. We expect to have just at least 2 grass pitches on the land there for this season, so that way, if there is ever any issues with the pitch right behind the field, whether that river comes up a little bit or it freezes or just gets torn up over, the lads out there playing, they'll have at least 2 more grass pitches for this season, because it's getting to the point where it's probably too late to do too much development, but we can definitely get grass down and growing. So that would be the ideal for this season. And then building out the rest of the upper plateau. We've mentioned the dome, the building, all of that comes. The 5-year lease is something that a lot of people have keyed in on. There's a memorandum of understanding, basically, that it will go extended before any major such as the development of a building or anything like that goes in. We'd have to have that locked down. Obviously, we can't plow the type of investment that it would take to build a facility that Carlisle United needs and deserves without having the lockdown there. So, but getting that first 5-year, being able to get 2 grass pitches this year, that was the number one priority. So that way the team wasn't training up, whether it's Gretna or anywhere else, on 3G pitches and stuff like that. It just throws off their rhythm and their tempo. So that's where that one's at. But we should have 2 grass pitches for the guys going into this season. So we'll have 3 full grass pitches, which I believe will be the most we've had in quite a long time. And hopefully we'll reduce the amount of travel and just throwing off the schedule it takes. And sometimes you have to travel.
Yeah, I remember the first Q&A we did, a couple of years ago with Semo. He was just clearly massively frustrated by that, travelling to find, scratching around trying to find training facilities. So just on the upper plateau bit, then the club have got exclusive use of that. Once you've invested in the new pitches, they're your pitches to use. It's the club's pitches to use. And then
Yeah,
the bottom bit remains the community part of the sheep mount. Yeah.
correct. The bottom pitches will remain the community part. I believe we'll also be helping with maintaining it. And there's an academy will most likely be training there as well when they can. But the upper plateau will basically be for the first team, is the idea behind that. I believe there's some locker rooms and changing rooms up there. Those will still be carved out for community use. There might be one or two that the club takes over and builds upon, or it's just a new build from there that quite hasn't been figured out yet. But they did still need the changing rooms and the locker rooms for all of the community grassroots football down there. So that part will still remain part with that, but everything else in the top plateau will be for the first team.
We are trying to keep it as community oriented as we can while keep it still being a first team training facility, if that makes any sense. So we don't want to take away from the community in any way, but we also want to make sure that we're being able to utilize it to the best of our abilities.
So the sort of the artificial pitch, what specifications is that going to be? Did you say how many Gs is it? Is it a 5G or whatever?
I've never fully even understood.
I think it will depend on I don't know. It's a cost thing.
Well, no, I mean it comes with the dome. We've only been the one at Fleetwood, so I would use that as a rough basis. But we do need to explore more on that. Personally, I don't know the difference between 3, 4, and 5G. I just hear about it. I've played on all of them, and I get turf in my boots, and that's about all I know about it. Or the little pellets in your boots. But so I'm not sure exactly which one that will be on the upper plateau, but it'll be great to have both for weather-wise. It can withstand anything, and if it has the dome over it, even better. So hopefully that'll all come together and turn into the vision that I think the community and all Carlisle United supporters are hoping for.
Okay. I mean, just in terms of the sort of your involvement as the family with the club. I mean, last year you were sort of transatlantic shuttling between your business in Jacksonville and coming across here. Have you worked out how you're going to play it between you in terms of having a base in Carlisle? Have you bought a house yet in the area, or?
We have a property. It's not ready yet, so it's a new a renovation that's happening. So it should be done in December, we hope.
But we all know how construction goes.
Yeah, I think it was purchased in March or April, officially, and then we've obviously just been waiting for the construction to finish up on it.
Yeah, so that is the family does have a base there. It'll still be a lot of shuttling. There's no doubt about that. Luckily, the travel is not bad for us, honestly. We have a direct shot from Orlando to Manchester, and then just hop on the train right there. And we've been lucky enough to not only have one major train issue so far. So, barring that, it's actually not a bad travel because we just sleep on the flight and we get up there and it's about noon in Carlisle. So that hasn't been too bad. But yeah, so once the schedule came out, we just kind of put everything in an Excel spreadsheet, break it up by couples, and say who's over when. Start picking dates and times, and there's overlap. There are a few that we won't all be there for, or no one will be there for, but quite a few that'll more than just 2 or 4, or all 6 of us will be there for. We'll all be there in August for the start of the season.
And I believe we're all hitting 4 games
minimum to start the season.
Minimum
Tom and Patty
4 games, and then Tom and Patty will be staying for the entire month of August.
Yeah, but back and forth quite a bit. I know we can almost guarantee you when the Jaguars are over there, we will be there. I know one of those games is Wimbledon in London. I believe the other one's Harrogate home. So looking at that, looking to see what we can do with the city of Jacksonville as well during that week, because now the team's playing 2 games. The city sends over a contingent, and we're hoping to do some sort of collaboration between Carlisle and Jacksonville, whether that's at the Wimbledon game or at the Harrogate game. If we can get them up there for that, that would be our favorite way, our preferred way to do it.
Could I just actually raise something on that, if I may? It's our 50th anniversary this season, and what we're looking to do, if we're hoping to do, is to have an event on the evening of the Wimbledon game. And that would seem to fit in. I mentioned it to Nigel and said, and Nigel said then contact yourselves and the others. But just let you know, we'd love you to be our guests at on the Saturday night after the Wimbledon game. And then I think there's quite a few Carlisle fans have been trying to get tickets for the Jacksonville game on the Sunday. So
Yeah.
So therefore, as many Piataks as possible to come along that evening.
No, yeah, we'll
Yeah,
be
so, yeah, we'll definitely be in town and be at the game. So we'll make sure to pass that on to the family as soon as we're done with this to make sure it's on our schedule.
Yeah, the only thing we're waiting for at the moment is obviously to hear from Sky as to what we can't afford to have is suddenly have an evening on the Saturday night and then suddenly find that the match is moved to the Thursday or the Monday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So as
Yeah.
soon as we can get some kind of confirmation, then we'll be able to get all the details. And normally we'd have a couple of ex-players, we'd have and obviously Nigel, I think, would come down. We'd hope to get Paul Simpson there as well. Something we did a few years ago when we had our 40th anniversary. It's kind of quite a big event. So
Yes, yeah, we would be so excited to come.
Definitely will be an interesting season with the new Sky thing and the amount of changes they can do and the way that we broadcast. It's definitely going to change a lot of things, but we're excited for it. And as you said, we'll roll with it once we find out if there are any changes or anything. But as of now, we're definitely going to be there either.
And being at the game regardless.
So
if it's on Thursday or if it's on Saturday, we can most likely be there.
And we can probably move around a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Just mention the Jaguars. Well, I mean, we've obviously heard you've had some involvement with them over the years as a family. Are you kind of a key sponsor of the team?
Yes.
Is that yeah?
Yeah, we're a big sponsor of them.
So we're their presenting logistics sponsor. So like we sponsor when you're at a home Jags game, there's a veteran of the game, and so we sponsor that bit, and that's kind of our contribution because obviously Mr. Tom is a veteran. So that's what we've done. It's a 3-year deal and we've enjoyed it so far. It's been wonderful, the partnership with them. They bring us in, they tell us all the exposure that we've had. It's very enlightening. They do a fantastic job.
Yeah, and that's the big piece is the veteran. We're the official logistics partner of the Jaguars. We also do the veteran of the game, which is Jacksonville's a big military town. We have 2 naval bases and an Air Force base, basically within 30-40 miles of Jacksonville. So there's an absolute ton of veterans or active service people there. So it's a huge moment and it's a big thing in the stadium. So that's great. And then there's also just general sponsorship around there. So we've got a great relationship with them. Not so much in terms of talking about with Fulham as much as we would have liked necessarily. They're open to it, but it hasn't been something that's really blossomed, the way it might have hoped to it within the first year. But they're still learning kind of about what we're doing and the moves that Carlisle's making. And I'm sure they're tracking it along. And as things progress, hopefully that progresses as well.
There's been quite a number of questions coming in.
Yeah, so I was just trying to sort of find an order.
You guys want did we learn about the brand? I can't say his last name.
Brandon. So I knew about it well before we even reached out to the club. Had done quite a bit of research on every aspect of Carlisle and a few other clubs. So knew about it. Had absolutely no impact on our decision because you can't. If I'm at Everton, I would never sell them unless I was forced to, which we know they may be. But so it's not something you can bank on. It's not something you can count on to happen. If it does happen, it'd be fantastic for the club, and it would help drive everything that we're doing. But it had absolutely no impact in terms of our decision of whether or not Carlisle United was the right club for us.
It's also not having any impact in future investment either. So like if they don't sell him in the next 12-24 in his contract, we're still going to be investing into the training facility and the stadium. So if that is kind of part of that question too, it really has no effect. It would be awesome, but we're not banking on it.
Yeah. Like to know their sports background. Oh.
Guy who does social media. He was in sports betting, so he helped develop a website for sports betting and did the social media for that. So that's his sports background is more of that, but it's very heavily social media and
It's about
influence.
engagement, not
Yeah.
not any specific team. It was about engagement with the wider community. So
And we think he's doing a fabulous job.
great job with that. But when you say who do they follow NFL, I think that's us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was, what your involvement with the Jaguars was. You're sort of
So
that's your
I'm a
main.
diehard Jaguars fan for the NFL, unfortunately.
I don't follow the MLS, but I'm a Boston fan for every other sport. So MLB, NHL, NBA, NFL. I'm a Boston City fanatic.
He's
So
a Patriots fan, and they knocked us out in the semifinals on a very
I'll be
controversial
going to
call.
the Patriots Jags game if you guys are all going after the Wimbledon game. So if you want to root for the Patriots, that'd be awesome.
Beyond that, for myself personally, NBA, I follow the Orlando Magic. It was kind of a funny one where my university roommate, he was from Orlando, didn't have an NFL team. I was from Jacksonville, didn't have an NBA team. We said, let's just be friendly and root for each other's teams. So I'm now an Orlando Magic fan. MLS, I'll say I don't watch. I only watch European football.
Yeah, before Carlisle, we watched the Premier League, so we've always been on the English football route.
Yeah, and then baseball, I'm not a huge fan. You support the Red Sox, but I enjoy a day out at the baseball, but their seasons are 186 games long. I can't follow 186 games.
We also don't have a local team, so it would have to. We're not really traveling for that, so yeah.
Yeah, the closest team, Atlanta has a team, and Tampa. So yeah, you're right.
So
Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you play any? Do you currently play any sports yourselves? I mean, are you in terms of keeping fit? I mean, do you play soccer, Tom, or do you?
Yeah, I play football every Tuesday. Our team unfortunately folded. We lost two of our absolute all-stars. It was a corporate league, but I still try to play at least once every week or every other week. Tons of friends, both from my high school days growing up in the area, or guys that we work with. Our corporate team, we were lucky enough to, we almost had an Anton Dudek type situation where a Ukrainian was living in Jacksonville. He's in the Dynamo Kiev system, and he was like, "Hey, do you guys play?" And I was like, "Yeah, we'll play." And he was the best player on the field everywhere we went. So it was very nice to have him there, and a great guy as well. But yeah, so I played that.
You're really into pickleball.
Pickleball would be the next sport that I probably play most. And then I golf, okay.
Yeah, there is pickleball played in Carlisle because So when I know has come back from the States, she's playing pickleball in Carlisle. So there's obviously
it's picked up. Like I don't know if I've ever seen a sport pick up as quickly as pickleball has, just across the nation.
Yeah, actually, you walked into my cunningly laid trap because on the call we've got Chris Temby, who's the captain of the branch football team. I don't know if you've seen this season; they've had some very good results, haven't they? Haven't they, Chris? Yes.
2 years running. Yeah.
So I think there's an open invitation to play for us if the stars align and you're in the country. So
would absolutely love to take you guys up on it. I've been lucky enough. The Dalston Sunday League team has been willing to take me up for a few games, so that's been great. And then I've also just done some random kick arounds with different groups where I might be out there. I was out watching the academy guys one day, and he was like, "Hey, we need one. Do you want to hop in?" And I was, of course, and just jumped on in. And luckily, I don't think they were tackling me as hard as they were tackling each other. But it was a great time. Love getting out for a kick around. It's probably the best cardio I get on a regular basis. So
you've got a shirt with your name on and everything, have you?
I don't have the name on the shirt yet, but they gave me the warm ups. I got all that, so I can look official walking in, and then who knows what happens once I get on the field.
Right. Well, I'll get Chris to keep in contact with you, and he can.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Please, I don't like to. I'd love to play anytime I can. So if there's an opportunity, would definitely take you guys up on that. Simo at Penrith on crutches, glad to hear. Score was, roughly what we expected. So that everything went well there. Saw a lot of the new guys, a lot of the new faces out there today between the, I don't know if they did a full line shift 11-11 at halftime, but it looked like it was something close to that. So it was good to see everybody out there and get a nice result at Penrith and a good lead into the preseason here. So it's a great way to start right there. As I scroll down, London branch, congrats on back-to-back. That's absolutely fantastic.
We'll be at the Gillingham game, but we get in the Friday before.
Yeah,
So
we
I
get
don't know. We're only there for like 2 nights, and then we're coming up to Carlisle for a week.
We're coming up Sunday or Monday?
Sunday.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that'll probably kill that one. But if I can, I will. If something.
I see from the question, your reputation preceded you there, doesn't it? I hear
We'll be
you're
back in
used to
London
playing.
for the MK Dons game, though.
Yeah,
We'll be there for a week.
And we'll be there for a week. So that one actually, there's potential for that. Jags game is a sellout.
Yeah, it's hard to get tickets to that one.
They're very popular. And it is interesting when you go because it's, fans that just want to just go to an NFL game.
Yeah.
Don't care who's playing. So we're walking in with our Jaguar stuff, and you got Dan Marino and Joe Montana, and everybody's just wearing all their stuff. And it's a great experience. And I'm glad that I don't love that Jacksonville goes every year. I won't lie. I wish Jacksonville stayed in Jacksonville, but it has been great for us as a brand, and we are a smaller market team in the NFL, so it has been a success. And with our new stadium deal, I think it will also help because there's going to be 1 year where we won't even be able to play in Jacksonville. That was just announced last week. So I think England might be getting a few extra Jaguar games that year. So keep your head out for that.
Yeah, I think I couldn't see any more sort of
Yeah, position. You can really throw me anywhere. I can make it work. I grew up playing literally jack of all trades, so except for keeper. Don't put me back there. But I'll give it a go if you do. But I just can't make any promises there. Everywhere else, I feel comfortable.
I think we had some early questions as well, didn't we, John?
Yeah, I was just saying. What question I was going to ask actually was around the fan zone at the back of the West Stand, which is seems to have gone very well from looking at the sort of social media stuff I've seen in the last few weeks. I mean, that's clearly kind of part of trying to make Brunton Park a sort of 7-day-a-week venue, isn't it? Trying to get some activity going on outside of match days. I mean, I just wonder how pleased have you been with the way the fan zone's gone?
We're grateful that people are coming out and supporting. I mean, it's a brand new thing we're doing, and it's been so well received. And the fact that we had people out there in the rain, that's just it's just so nice to see the community come together and support us and their club, obviously. The big screen has been a huge hit. Everyone loves the big screen. Apparently, when you see it in person, it's even crazier than what you've seen in pictures, because that's what we were just told. And it looks crazy in pictures, so I can only imagine what it looks like in person. But yeah, no, it's part of our plan this year, because now that some of our away, so we'll see what is happening. But we are hoping anytime there's like a summer event that we can do this, we'll have that for like England games or whatever.
Yeah, I've been blown away. It's been fantastic between the big screen going up, the additional container bars just to speed the process up because nobody wants to stand in queue for so long. To the community sports trust is doing a lot with families and kids as well, so they'll kind of have their own little area because you don't always want to be surrounded by kids, even your own sometimes. So overall, it's just been a fantastic success. The Euro is going on right now. It couldn't have been a better time to launch it. England, I mean, talk about going down to the last to the wire, but if you're going to do it, I guess that's one way to do it. So, really appreciate the support the community's got. We didn't know how it was going to go when we launched it. We knew the fan zone there'll be people there on game days, but for an event like this, you never know. And it's been just a fantastic success. And we think it's just been a great thing for the club and for the community.
Yeah, I mean, one sort of getting a bit more serious, I suppose. One area for the supporters, we're one of the supporters groups associated with the club. We've been sort of flogging away, as Dave said, at this for sort of 50 years. We've never had a set of owners like you involved in the club with so many ideas and so much ability to take those ideas forward. We've been joking about our fundraising activities, and we're looking at our kitty of a couple of tens of thousands of pounds, and then you put 4 million quid into the club. It's a different sort of place we're in, and I just wonder how your thoughts are developing about how you kind of engage with fans in general and the fan groups in particular, and we sort of build a relationship where it kind of makes life better for everybody and builds the
no,
club and the
definitely.
brand. So
Tom, can I just put in and add to that, because there's something that
you may have met this man. I don't know.
through all the years through all the hundreds of
See you
years
coming there, Andy.
through all the hundreds of years that I worked at the club, it would regularly crop up that why have we got all of these different fan groups? Why are we not all under one banner? Be that with the official supporters club, with a trust. Why don't we all just merge and make it easier for owners to deal with fans? Where do you stand on that? Do you get the importance of a group like this that has got its own functions and needs, or is there a feeling at the club that we actually all do need to be under one roof, one title, one set of fans?
I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest. Everyone being under one or having one, greater umbrella is great because you get input from all over. However, I do think having someone like the London branch is absolutely massive for a club like Carlisle. Given our location and the way sometimes people have to leave Carlisle and move for jobs or any other reason, having a group that you feel like you're at home when you're away is great. And you guys can have, the London branch can have their own events, but I definitely think there is some cohesion that may have been lacking. That can be great. I will say we've heard nothing but great things about the London branch and the support you guys have given. I know last season I think they were raving about it was a gym equipment machine that they came in. They've been wanting for years, and you guys were able to help support that and get that to the club. And things like that, they really do make it a massive difference, especially over as you mentioned, how extended period of time. It all adds up, and it's been great. But Andy, I definitely see what you're saying there, that having everybody under one umbrella. Obviously online you're going to get the naysayers, but it does help just get the conversation going, getting ideas flowing, people traveling farther. Well, where do I go to meet up? Well, the London branch has an event going on here. It makes sense that this is where we'll go as well. And I think it's loosely been done, but I definitely think there's room for growth on that. But again, the London branch and everything that it represents and does, I think, is extremely important for the club, especially given the location in the far northwest.
You don't ever see a day where you as owners will say, no, we need one group, that's it, join or do your own thing.
I don't know if we have that ability necessarily.
I think it's hard to rewrite what you've already done, but maybe try to make it so there's better communication, because I feel like we've learned in this process that sometimes there is a disconnect with the communication, and we're only hurting the other fans that are trying to get involved, and the lack of just easy, okay, this is where we're going, this is what we're doing, this is how we're meeting up together. I think that can be improved, but other than that, I don't think we're in a place right now to say no, you guys all have to join the one branch of kiosk and that's it.
Yeah. They do have the benefit of they do own 10% of the club, which is a sizable piece. But when it comes to saying you have to do this, just in our neighborhood back home, there's I think 3 different Facebook groups just for different residents in our neighborhood to complain about other things, and some are more inclusive and some are more selective, and it's just you can't control how people set up their friend groups to a T. But I would say the London branch and the kiosk have been the 2 main ones that we've worked with, and we really appreciate every input that both sides have been able to do in our period so far.
Yeah, I mean it's yes, I thought I'd read it. Yeah, I mean we did a survey of members sort of back end of last season, and the sort of in a way you almost take it for granted, as a thing we do is arrange the away meeting pub. But the members university said that was really kind of the core thing about the London branch, was just that ability to meet up and be among friends when you arrive in a strange town to go to an away game. The London branch are going to be in that pub and there'll be people I can chat to, and it just makes the match day experience better for folk. And I think that's it's quite a simple thing, but it's really clearly very important.
Yeah, definitely. We've been too.
Yeah, we used the one at Borough Market for the trout.
Yeah, that was
Charlton game.
last season. That was
And
fantastic.
fans
Yeah, no, that was
act-
great, wasn't it? Yeah, that was
Yeah, and fans actually brought us on the train with them to get us to the stadium because we had no idea where we were going. So we were so grateful.
Yeah.
We were so grateful. It was a wonderful experience. So yeah, I mean, if we didn't go, we might not have made it on time.
Yeah, I think that's a good example of how it works. Yeah, you know, you sort of you get the benefit of other people's experience in which train to get or which way round to go into the ground, or you know, do you go in that
big group
that
of
end?
salads walking, and we went,
Yeah.
oh, let's go with that group, and there we go. So yeah, no, definitely huge.
I wonder if I can break in with another question, John.
No.
I feel I need to do this with Chris Temby. One of the things he's asked there is, I think our kit for the supporters team is getting a bit ragged, and and quite often in the past we've had donations from the club of old kits that that you don't need any longer. So I think Chris was asking there. Doesn't have to be coordinated, new or coordinated for the LB footy team. Could you check the cupboards out at Brunton Park, please?
Yeah, I'm sure that would be an issue. We'll ask. I don't know who the right person to ask for that is. But, you know, I'm sure there's loads of extras. I played in a staff match after the end of last season, and I think we wore the 18s. We wore their kits, and a few of us didn't fit. But
Well,
yeah,
I have no chance.
there's definitely something. We'll try to find out who the right person is to reach out to for that. But I know there's some stockpiles somewhere, I'm sure, of extras.
For something like that, is the best thing for us to do is to drop a note to Nigel.
Yeah.
And then that way it keeps the communication sort of, you're not having to remember it. So if we put a note through to Nigel
Nigel or Simon or someone along those lines.
No, yeah, I would do Nigel, and then he could probably get it to. I don't know. We're like in between kit people right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll drop it.
We'll bring it up.
Yeah.
We'll drop
But
it up
Nigel
with
was
him.
just a great person.
Well,
I think there was.
on that being the case, Tom, I mean, Chris would no doubt want to buy you a drink at the next away game he meets you. And I've got an important question about are you real ale fans? Which is so how are you finding sort of English pub culture and the warm quality of English beer? And
I don't drink beer, so yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm not a huge beer drinker. And it's not beer itself. I really don't drink carbonated drinks, like Sprite, sodas.
Anything.
The only carbonated drinks I do drink are beer. So I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll have a few pints, but I gotta probably get like one or two with me before I can really start enjoying them. But we've really enjoyed. I'm very basic. I probably go with Moretti at most of the grounds we go to, or something like that. In America, they kind of call it the water beers, the Bud Lights, the Michelob Ultras. I'm not a huge taste guy, but when it comes to the vodka is personally where I go.
Our most adventurous beer drinker is Nick.
Yeah, Nick will try
he'll
anything. Nick will try anything.
We're not.
all right.
So that's the little secret info there. Nick will give it a shot.
Well, we'll have to. I mean, Peter Smithson's our expert pub crawl organizer, so perhaps he could sort something out for Nick then next time he's in London. We can give him an itinerary, and he can.
Yeah.
I'll definitely tag along. I just can't promise I'll put them all down, but I'll definitely. Again.
Look at the time, Dave. It's 9:30. We said we'd sort of take a stock of where we were.
Yeah, are you guys rushing away, or is it have you got 10 or 15 minutes more you could have?
Yeah,
we're fine with that.
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes, no issues. So they're.
I mean, it's like 4:30 here, so and I have snacks, so I'm good.
You don't have an update on the Portugal game, on the Portugal-France game? If someone could just put that in the chat, so I just know the score, that'd be great. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
So where will we?
I was going to use the last bit to sort of look ahead to the season coming. Have some sort of flow through from when you first arrived through to looking ahead to the coming season. So there's been quite a lot of sort of bold talk on the various club officials and players interviewed, saying that promotion's the aim here. We're here to get promoted this season. Is that is that a corporate edict from the top, or is that?
That is 100% the aim. I mean, I'm definitely a believer of you play to win. You know, there's don't know the name of the coach, but he's got a huge rant. It's a great video where you play to win the game. When you get to know Tom, as you get to know him more and more, he hates to lose, and he grew up the fifth of six children, and he was the youngest boy of four. And when those brothers get together, I don't think I beat him in a game of basketball until I was 15 years old. So I mean, very competitive. The aim, the expectation is a promotion or playoffs at bare minimum is our expectations and hopes. We hope people are seeing with the players coming in, some of the experience coming in. There's been definitely some changes, and both on the young side and on the older side in terms of experience and talent and everything that we think will mesh together really well. We're hoping. I know Tom did an interview where he mentioned there's still a few things out there that we're trying to tie up and bring in. And clock's ticking. We're a month away from April, or I mean, a month away from August. So we're looking forward to seeing how the squad comes together, and we think we'll have a very, very competitive squad going into League Two.
Good to hear. I mean, and then sort of the usual thing, where do you think we'll be in 5 years? What's the?
We're ambitious. So we said, I think when we did the initial presentation to the trust and everything, our goal is to establish ourselves as a League One side and then a top half League One side. So in 5 years, am I going to say championship? No. Am I going to say fighting for promotion in League One? Yes. That's our ambition, and our expectation is to be an upper half League One side, giving it a go, giving it a shot, trying to get promoted. And if the ball bounces the right way, we're going up.
Yeah.
Tom, have you tapped into not so much Reynolds and McElhenney, but the Wickham owners, for example? There's quite a few American owners dotted around the EFL. Have you guys tapped into their knowledge and spoken to them about their experience?
So that's definitely Tom's goal, is anytime we're at a away game or they're at home with us, meeting people. I know we have really a great person who's local to us is the Bournemouth owner, Bill Foley. He's been extremely helpful. That entire Bournemouth team has been extremely helpful for us, just getting some of the back end stuff handled and bringing it a little bit more into this generation, which has been awesome. But yeah, no, I mean, making connections is key in obviously football.
And American and not American, as you mentioned, we found it unique where when we would go to a lot of these travel to an away game per se, you might be sat at a table, just you and just Carlisle's over here and we're over there. And we made a conscious effort that we split up and we split them up. And it's all about growing those connections with the other teams. And, if somebody asks, hey, I really want to sit with this friend or something, we make accommodations for that. But a lot of them said, this is fantastic. I'd always come and I'd sit with the same six and I love them, but we're getting a whole new perspective, getting to meet new people, especially for us being new. There is quite a few American owners now in the EFL, as you mentioned. We've gotten to know a good number of them. We're excited for Gillingham away, first game, the Galenson family. They're another Florida-based family. We did not know them before, but we've already talked to them about. They were like, hey, will you guys be over? We're excited to host you. And so definitely a lot of good connections to be made there, and we're excited for coming into this season and making more, because I guess we haven't met many of these League Two teams yet. We be a new experience for us.
What shocked you most about English football as a business?
What was the first part about English football?
What shocked you most? What's been the biggest wow?
Shocked. I mean, for me, I would say I knew the sport pretty well, having followed it my whole life and being a part of clubs that had affiliations with players or people's fathers that played in London and everything. And there weren't a ton of it. We didn't go into it. No one ever thought we were going to make money. It wasn't that type of business venture or at any point. I think Tom made the promise. Our best case scenario, we hope to make $1, and if we ever do, that $1 is going right back into Carlisle United. So from a business side, there hasn't been a ton other than some of the slowness maybe factor, I would say, whether that's politics or the EFL or sometimes just bureaucracy, which I'm not going to say that's any different in America.
But it's different because we're like privately held. So we kind of make like, yes, we make our own rules within like the regulations that obviously our government has for us. But I would say like for me, it was the separation of a lot of things. Like I feel like I didn't realize that. I mean, I guess it's a business unit and everything's kind of like separated out, but I didn't really conceptualize it until we were a part of it. And it was like, okay, you've got the football, and then the academy is separate than the football, and then you've got all the retail and commercial. Obviously, like I got that you needed all of those pieces together, but they function almost by themselves, which I didn't really kind of tie together until we got involved. But it's been awesome. Like we've been able to see so many different sides of stuff. It's just, I feel like what we do, it's very straightforward. And so we don't have a lot, like we have very few departments. So here I feel like there's a lot more to learn. And that's been really exciting.
I would agree with that. We have always been business to business with our, our work back in Jacksonville. That's the way our company is, and now business to consumer with Carlisle. It is very different in just in the terms of the way you have to present yourselves and present to basically the customer versus another business type thing. So that was new in learning, but it wasn't something we didn't expect. We knew, the fans are the lifeblood.
And just how like, I mean, obviously like we do a great product back in America, but it affects so many more people on such a more personal level. So you're trying like that much more to make it as best as you possibly can. And then you also have okay, we are American based. We are trying to come over as much as we possibly can and then learning everything. It's been a huge challenge, but it's been so rewarding. And I think that's what our family is really thriving on, is just the learning experience and the interaction with everyone. And it's been awesome. Yeah. Tuesdays are very important on our schedule. That's like our Carlisle heavy day. So
not just Tuesday games.
Yeah, not Tuesday games. Like every Tuesday we have like huge meetings and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun.
In terms of sort of making the club a integral part of a thriving Carlisle and a wider sort of wider north and North Cumberland area, sort of interacting with other local businesses and partnering with other local businesses, I guess is important, and it's been really good to see the take up of the exec boxes in the East Stand. So I mean, how much are you looking forward in a way to building long-term relationships with some of the key active local businesses? You mentioned Story Construction. I mean, Fred's obviously been involved previously in the club, but kind of nice almost to have him back involved somehow. Or there's more to do there.
Yeah, no, it's been huge. We've been reaching out to a lot of businesses that did not previously do much with the club.
Or not recently. So they might have done it in the past, but
yeah, that's
in the past, like 10, 15 years.
And it's been there's been a tremendous uptake. You mentioned the executive boxes. They actually, there's now a waiting list of people looking to get on. Someone came and they wanted to get the back two. We're like, I'm sorry, they've all been sold out for the upcoming year, which is absolutely tremendous. And they got a nice package in one of the new lounges, which is great. But they said, hey, we are interested as soon as those come available. But there's been quite a few. The sales team has been very busy. There is a new sales manager that is coming on. I think he might be starting now. Wasn't it early July? I believe he was supposed to start. But Carrie and Ewan and Martin, they've done a great job in the interim. Where
they have been so busy. They've handled everything so well. We've almost completely revamped the entire system on them, and we have a sales team at our company. And so what we've learned with our sales team and the products we use to get business to business customers, we've kind of floated over and helped them develop it for the Carlisle side. So that's been super beneficial for them. And it keeps everything kind of more organized. Not that it wasn't before, but it's a little bit more into the 21st technology centered with the CRM and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But business to business is vital. Like this is how you develop more relationships. You have a business invite clients in, the clients become a Carlisle fan, they buy season tickets next year. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's easy to create new fans this way, but it is a pathway that we're definitely like striving toward. And obviously we want to support them in any way that we can. So yeah, it's been something that the commercial team has they've blown it out of the park.
Yeah.
They've done
It's been great, and we can, again, appreciate everyone who's reached out, whether that's just buying a season ticket for yourself or, as something for your company.
Support has been wonderful.
It's all been great, and things have just been flying, and, they tell us it's flying faster than normal. We don't know, but it's been going very, very well from what we expected on our side.
And we hope you guys can make it up and see all of the new features that we're adding. Because I mean, not to toot our own horn, but like we really have been putting a lot of time and energy into it. And I think it'll be very cool on that east stand. So it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited for people to see it.
Could we, I think just as a sort of, we should be just about finishing off now. Can I ask, is there any questions from anybody on the call?
Yeah, I'll just shout it.
Just shout them out now.
Taking yourself off mute first, of course, but
a sad one, guys. How did you feel the other day when you heard the news about Andrew?
Oh, devastating.
Yeah, devastating.
Absolutely devastating.
Obviously everyone had known that he had poor health to an extent, but we
had no idea that it was.
We've been talking to him recently, along with Diane and other members of the family that we keep in contact with, or we see when we're over there and everything. And it came as a complete shocker to us over in the States when we got the text and just couldn't believe it. And I mean, what an individual he was, and the dedication. I mean, at 65 or something around that amount of time to give that many years of your life to a club, you don't see it in almost any business of any sort. And he was Carlisle through and through. I'm so thankful we were able to meet him and get to know him before. And the interactions we had with him, in particular, I remember a dinner down at, I don't know the name of the restaurant that they have right there at Pioneer. And it was an absolutely wonderful night. And you could feel his love for Carlisle United. He didn't even care. This was, I think, when the playoffs were going on, and of course he wanted to go up, but he was like, the most important thing for me is Carlisle United is thriving and doing the best that it can. And he really exemplified that. He gave his life to that. And, very gracious that we got to meet him and experience a little bit of that, and very sorry for his family, friends, and everyone connected to Carlisle United and Andrew.
Thanks for that one, Andy. That's nice to hear that tribute. That's reassuring. Thank you. Dave, shall we say thank you to our guests? Oh, there's a question for Andrew there, is there?
Well, actually two.
You only have one hand up. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Are you aware of the love of the history of our football clubs in this country? And secondly, have you heard of Jimmy Glass and the story of Jimmy Glass?
Yeah,
of course. I think your dad has played the video probably upwards of 50 times. It's like his favorite thing to show people. But no, the history of the club, we 100% know. We've done, before we even got involved with Carlisle, we would do a lot of this stadium tours just around Europe, and we would go on vacation and stuff just to see kind of what the larger clubs do in order to preserve their history. And Patty is a huge proponent. Like she is making it her mission to set up a history museum. So that is in the plan for Brunton Park. Yeah. So it's coming. The Heritage Project is a great first start. We're so excited. It's opening this month, which is so exciting. I can't believe they've accomplished everything that they've accomplished in such a short amount of time. But Simon's done such a great job with that. That'll be at the Tully House, and then when that exhibit finishes there, that we actually plan to move it to Brunton Park to have that. Become a history museum, become a home there at Brunton Park, and something you can incorporate to show anyone that younger generations that want to see, or even tourists that want to come and check it out and see the history of the club, because the club has an absolute ton of history, and you can trace it back before the 1900s or when it was formed as Carlisle United officially, and everything it's done and achieved. I mean, the club has, in my opinion, when we did look at the different clubs, we went, what can a club achieve? And not every club has the ability to win, and they can get close, but Carlisle has the ability to win. They've proven it over the years. And you want to show that off.
And we have kind of developed things on our side where we're going to make sure we get certain items and certain pieces that we want from every season. So it will go into the museum for the long term. So we're very much focused on, yes, this is happening this year, but like what from this year can we kind of collaborate and put in to make sure that it's preserved for history for future generations to be able to utilize and view and look at.
Yeah.
So.
And then real quick on Jimmy Glass, I don't think there'll ever be a moment like that. I've seen keepers score. I've seen him score winners. I don't think I've ever seen this keeper score a winner to keep the team going from getting relegated. I mean, in that kind of moment, I don't know if it'll ever happen again. That's Carlisle United.
That'd be incredible, but yeah.
Hopefully, we're not in that situation.
Yeah.
I'd really rather it didn't happen again, to be honest.
Yeah. Hopefully that happens. Like we need to score to make the playoffs, not
Yeah.
Exactly.
So have you guys realized that you are now part of that club history?
It's really crazy to think about, honestly. It really is.
The moment I would say it set in was when that the club put out the video that really traced it all the way back, and then it showed the takeover day happening and everything, and it went, wow, we're now affiliated with everything that happened before, and that's a standard to uphold and one we strive to do. Yeah.
I think at that stage, I think we'll say a huge thank you, not just for tonight especially, but also as well to the whole family, really. You've really made a difference to every Carlisle fan. We now feel we've got real hope, real sustainable future. The need for a training ground, as an example, has just been there for so long. And the fact that that's all is now happening, and we can now believe in it. It's absolutely fantastic. I'd like to just a round of applause from everybody, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you can probably just cast that second half there, Tom.
Yeah, I have to catch up on that one there. But thank you guys so much. We did make a commitment also when we took over to be as transparent and accessible as possible, and we don't ever plan on changing that. That's the way we operate our businesses back home. And while we know this is a completely different type of business, you can't shy away from the good, bad, and the ugly. It all comes, hopefully more good than bad, but we'll always be available. You can reach out to us, Tom and Patty. They're celebrating their anniversary, so that's why they weren't able to make it tonight. But
they're over in Carlisle.
They're actually enjoying the Lake District.
Yeah.
So I gather.
We're always so busy when we're over there. They actually said, we're taking the time. We're going out and enjoying the Lake District. So they're hopefully having a wonderful time. And we thank you guys for being willing to take on us. I know we're not quite Tom and Patty, but
no. But we'd love having you at the Market Porter and your mum and dad as well.
Yeah, that was a great meeting, in the Borough Market one as well. So we look forward to more meetups with the London branch. And,
we got two right away, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
But we'll keep sending through the London branch locations. So so you can if you can make it, we'd love to see you.
Yeah, we always try to, as long as the other club lets us get there a little bit late.
Yeah,
we'd rather be our supporters.
We'll see you later, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, guys. Everyone have a good evening.
Thank you.